Take care of yourself and each other. Thank you very much.
That was Jerry Springer addressing the elite of the British educational establishment. Where did I go wrong? It's 4 minutes to 6. Time to leave on that note, I think. Let's catch up with the weather, however. Here's Sarah Wilmshurst.
Hello, good morning. We just had a warning from Glasgow Weather Centre for icy patches on some untreated roads in central and southern parts of Scotland. Do watch out for that if you're driving about first thing this morning. Further south, and it's a different problem. We've got some very squally showers around, some heavy showers in some parts of northwest England and indeed in the southern half of England and Wales. And along with the squally showers here through today, winds will gust from 40 to 60 miles an hour, so some difficult driving conditions here too. All of that, watch out for if you are out and about in the rush hour. Now those winds are going to ease in southern parts through the day from the west. The arrows getting smaller and smaller. That wind eventually easing after dark in the southeast, but at the same time a cold northerly wind developing across Scotland and Northern Ireland later on today and into tomorrow. Now those winds all circulating around this area of low pressure, weather fronts swinging through, so exacerbating the showers and pushing them eastwards during today, and then this weather front pushing down from the north to bring outbreaks of rain and some sleet and snow over the higher ground of Scotland. This was yesterday's rain. That's moved out of the way, but it's left behind a legacy of a lot of showers. And here's the heaviest ones at the moment across parts of northwest England, and they're causing some difficult driving conditions here. But really a peppering of showers across many parts of the country, but it's starting dry and fair in many eastern areas. Now we'll see a lot of dry weather in these eastern parts through the morning, although there is still a chance of 1 or 2 light showers here. The heaviest showers through the morning will be in more western parts, but as the day wears on, those heavy showers will transfer their way eastwards. Still a risk of the odd rumble of thunder, some hail mixed in too, whilst in western parts the showers get lighter and more scattered. Now at the same time across Scotland, cloud will thicken up from the north to bring outbreaks of rain, and that rain will turn to sleet or snow over the higher ground. And here it is going to be a cold afternoon, temperatures just 4 to 6 degrees, and in that strengthening northerly wind too. Down in the south, a milder day to come at temperatures between 10 and 12 degrees. Now through tonight, that weather front continues its progress south and east across Scotland to bring outbreaks of rain, sleet and snow to many places. Still that weather front plaguing the southeast for a time, but that will move away. So showers moving away through the evening and into the night, things drying out, and there'll be some clear spells, so it could turn a little bit misty in places. Elsewhere, more in the way of cloud and rain pushing its way southwards, but it'll be a colder night than last night. In fact, temperatures dropping close to freezing in 1 or 2 places. That's the weather. Bye for now.
Disaster returns with a dramatic reconstruction on the 10th anniversary of the sinking of the Marchioness, Monday at 8 on BBC Two.
Now on BBC One, breakfast news and business breakfast with Sophie Raworth and Anna Jones.
Good morning and welcome to the BBC's Breakfast News. The headlines this morning. The survivors of the Uganda massacre are preparing to fly home. The search is on for the killers of the 8 tourists as the Foreign Office defends its decision not to warn people against travelling to the area. The Bank of England will announce this morning whether it's going to cut interest rates again. And the nuclear time bomb rusting in a Russian backwater. The Foreign Secretary flies in to call for urgent action. And now here's Anna Jones with today's business headlines.
Good morning. The spotlight falls on the technology sector as here in the UK, Scion looks set to record below-par profits and dampen future expectations. And Hewlett-Packard, one of the biggest names in California's Silicon Valley, splits itself into 2 new companies to tackle the fierce competition in the computer market. And on the markets, the euro continued its rocky ride yesterday. It's currently trading against the pound at 67.61 pence.
The British survivors of the massacre of hostages in Uganda are preparing to return home with a message from their captors. They were kidnapped by Rwandan rebels on Monday. 8 tourists, including 4 Britons, were murdered. Their bodies are due to be flown back later today. The Ugandan president will give a news conference this morning. The tourists were on a gorilla tracking safari in the Bwindi National Park in a remote area near the border with Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
In the care of consular staff at the British High Commission in Kampala, the survivors are now preparing to fly home. As the enormity of what happened sinks in, questions are being asked about why British and US tourists were apparently singled out by the rebels. They're what remains of the Hutu militia, responsible for the 1994 Rwandan genocide and now operating on the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. A 2-page note condemning English and American support for the Ugandan government's efforts to quell the Hutu rebellion was given to survivors. More than 100 rebels are said to have entered 4 camps on Monday morning. It seems to have been well planned.
There were diversionary tactics played by the rebels. They attacked an airfield and the army seems to have gone there, and that created a vacuum in this area.
Among those who died was 24-year-old Mark Lindgren from Hertfordshire. He was one of several young British people on the tour who were on what they thought was a trip with few risks, partly to see the famous mountain gorillas. Until 2 days ago, the Foreign Office wasn't advising tourists to stay away from the region.
Certainly the Foreign Office advice was that there had been rebel activity in this part of the border area, but that things have been relatively peaceful recently. Now, that was a matter of fact.
British and American diplomats, along with members of the FBI, are now heading for the campsites to investigate the killings. In the meantime, tour companies are making arrangements to pull out. Lucy Atherton, BBC News.
The Bank of England will announce at noon today whether it's to cut interest rates again. The bank's Monetary Policy Committee has been meeting since yesterday to decide. City forecasters expect rates to remain unchanged, but businesses and trade unions are arguing that there is still scope for rates to fall further.
At the Bank of England this morning, the members of the Monetary Policy Committee arriving to vote on their decision may run into a protest by the MSF union. Many unions and businesses argue that the bank should be doing more to help manufacturers by keeping interest rates falling.